Apricity OS 07 2016 is the first stable release of this Arch-based Linux distribution. It's one of a number of Arch-based distributions. It's probably more similar to Antergos than it is to Manjaro. I chose the Gnome Desktop. When I looked at it more closely, I saw that there were other desktop sessions included. So I'm going to show briefly in GNOME boxes how to access the other desktop sessions. And then I'm going to proceed to the main video, which was recorded with Cinnamon using software rendering, which was the only one that would work on my machine with Simple Screen Recorder. And when you get to the sign-in screen, you want to right-click on the name. When this gear appears, you want to click on the gear. Now you see the alternate sessions: Cinnamon, Cinnamon with software rendering, GNOME, and GNOME on Wayland. I've tried GNOME on Wayland as well as the others, and I like it. It's pretty snappy. However, I couldn't make a screen recording with GNOME on Wayland, so I chose Cinnamon software rendering to make my screen recording. I'm entering my password. Now the Gnome Desktop appears. Of course, this is in GNOME boxes, not a recording from hardware. And there's the dash. It has very few items entered, but it has a full complement of software. Click on Show Applications. And you get the array of included software. However, that's as far as I'm going to go with GNOME on Wayland at this point. Now, this part of the video is being made on the actual installation on an external hard drive using the Cinnamon Desktop with software rendering, the only one that would work with Simple Screen Recorder. This is not the default background, but it's one of several that are available. As you can see, there's quite a large selection of available backgrounds. There are two ways to get software. One is from Hammock, the graphical software manager. You have your choice of repositories. You have Apricity Core, which is unique to Apricity. Core, Extra, Multilib, and Community. Now, in addition to that, you can go to Preferences, and Authenticate. You have the general conditions here. You have the official repositories and where to use the mirrors from. And you have the AUR, the Arch User Repository. As you can see, I've enabled AUR support and clicked on Search in AUR by default and check for updates from AUR. I've left unchecked Do Not Ask for Confirmation when building packages. So now when I search for something, I'm going to search for something that not everybody uses. Pi Renamer. You see it's available, but it's only available in the AUR. So I'm going to check that and I'm going to click on Apply. And then it's going to ask me to commit. So I'm going to click on Commit. Now it says it's an unsupported package, potentially dangerous. Edit package build, yes or no. I'm going to click on N for no, because you do not want to edit the package build unless you really know what you're doing. And yet I don't want to click on A for abort. I'm just going to see what happens. So I'm going to click on N. Now it's going to ask me to confirm. I'm going to click on capital Y there. Now it's asking me for my password. Press Enter. Proceed with installation. Capital Y. This is a typical process when you're using the Arch User Repository. It can be somewhat lengthy, but this is a small program. Continue installing, capital Y. Proceed with the installation, capital Y. And it says transaction successfully finished. So now I'm going to look for Pi Renamer. I think it's under accessories. There it is, Pi Renamer. I'm not actually going to rename anything, but there it is. Now, one thing I have not been able to do very successfully with PAMAC, the graphical software manager, is updating. It doesn't seem to update very well. But I see there's one available update here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Pacman, the command line interface, for updating, and I found that works very well. So I'm going to open a terminal emulator. and I'm going to enter sudo pacman hyphen capital S lowercase y u. That's the command for updating in Pacman. I'm going to enter my password. Press enter. It says synchronizing package databases. I'm going to make this full screen. Proceed with installation. Yes. Retrieving packages. It's updating LibreOffice Fresh, which is the up-to-the-minute version of LibreOffice. Now the installation is finished. And you can see that I have version 5.2.0. And you can see that I have version 5.2.0.4, the absolute latest version. Aside from that one problem with PAMAC not updating, I haven't had any problems with Apricity at all. It's connected to the internet without any difficulty. I'm going to show you the system monitor. It's a bit unfair to look at the resources being consumed because I'm running Simple Screen Recorder, but generally speaking the CPU usage is quite high in this version of Cinnamon as opposed to the version of Cinnamon that comes with Linux Mint, and that's because I think this version of Cinnamon runs on top of Gnome, whereas the version that comes with Linux Mint is a fork of Gnome and therefore is a little lighter in its demand on system resources. Since this is based on Arch, I wouldn't recommend it to complete novices to Linux. But if you want the Arch experience and don't want the hassle of creating an Arch implementation painfully step by step from the command line, this is a good way to get it. This is XRAM Tech. Thanks for watching.